Hello, I'm Luxarkana, and today I built a little family home just because I've had a rough doctor's appointment in the yesterday, and I just didn't feel like building anything big or actually building seriously on a Japanese sci-fi. So I just felt like building a little family home. I googled some pictures and I found like a really cool picture of a house that was kind of sunken in and it had like a raised backyard. And I thought that was like a really cool idea, something that I usually don't do because I kind of dislike using terrain tools on like smaller lots because I think it just doesn't fit that well into the world. But for this one, it kind of did work out, mainly thanks to the reference picture that I found. I had to, experiment a little bit with how I wanted to do it in The Sims. Especially in the beginning, I wasn't really sure how to mix the terrain paint with, the whole layout and stuff like that. But in the end, I think I figured it out kind of well, and I'm just happy how it turned out. I think it's definitely a house that you and your Sims would get happy in. And yeah, I just had a really nice time building it. Like I said, I came back from the doctor's appointment. I didn't feel 100%, and yeah, I just chilled with it, and that's why maybe at some points my building is a little bit slower than usual, and I'm kind of sorry for it. But don't worry, I feel a lot better now, and now that I, feel a lot better, I can say with certainty that I'm glad I've built this. It was fun to build, and it did, kind of help me not to think about the doctor's appointment because I was really nervous about it. Because I never had a doctor's appointment like that before. Um, I had stomach pain for quite a while now, and the doctor was basically trying to figure out why I have that stomach pain. I probably have to, get tested for stuff again, but at least we now know that it's not the worst of the worst. So I got that going for me, which is nice, I guess. So yeah. But enough about my health. Let's talk more about The Sims because there's been a new kit released, and I'm continuing to grow sick of kits in general. I don't like how they are going, especially this one. Just seems like, well, to put it politely, it seems like luxury party point two. It doesn't have anything that really, maybe it's just not my style. I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed by the last few kits, and I don't know. I'm just hoping we're getting some more different packs. But yeah, that's my that's just my drop on the Sims situation lately. I've been really happy with the patch notes though, because a lot of things have been patched out that I've really been bothered with in the last patch, the last patch that prepared the game for the kid. And another thing that I really, really like is that we can now start scenarios in our Sims' households that already exist. And that's something that I'm definitely going to take advantage of because I want to bring back my Sims 4 Legacy Let's Play. I want to keep playing with Jackie, and I want to, I want Jackie to start a scenario. That's why I've been putting off recording more of it, by the way, because that has been my plan to continue the legacy using the scenarios. And, it kind of wasn't possible. But now that it is, I'm definitely going to do it. I'm looking forward to it, actually. I'm really looking forward to seeing Kaya's again and just to play with Jackie. I mean, she's one of the Sims that I actually have grown most attached to, I think. The other Sim that I'm really attached to is my tester Sim, Nadine, and of course Salika, or Celine, as I like to call her, because there's this little set of Sims that randomly generates in your world, or when you get a new household, and they are basically always the same. And the first sim that I made coincidentally looks exactly like one of those. And I always call like Celine is like the original that I make, and Celica is all the copies. But yeah, every time I encounter a Celica or a Celine, I'm just really, I'm just laughing about it because it's just funny because you watch a YouTube video and you basically see a first sim running around as a test sim. It's nice. I was kind of planning on, making a video about playing with Celine and showing off her world and stuff like that, because she might be one of my oldest Sims from like all of them. But yeah, in the garden from this house, I've really been inspired by the reference picture that I found, because it had like these high grasses that were like kind of circling around the patio, and I thought it was really, really cute. So I just had to include it. The other thing that I really fancied, again, was that the house was kind of sunken into the ground. I thought that was really cool. And yeah, for this build, I used tool mainly just to, lower the plants into the ground, because this is something that I've really found to be annoying, which is that plants don't properly snap to terrain. And I kind of wish that we could get a terrain update 2.0 where we get the option to, make stuff snap to terrain better, and, don't have to basically use tool just to make our garden look acceptable and not have flying grass. It would be such a small quality of life improvement to builders, but it would be a huge quality of life improvement to builders. I know it's kind of contradictory, but most builders use plants and most builders use terrain paint. And for those builders, this is going to be life-changing. Of course, not all builders use terrain paint. Little Sims is the best example. She never uses the terrain tools. So, yeah. I mean, it won't be a quality of life improvement for every builder, but for those builders for whom it will be a quality of life improvement, it will be life-changing. And yeah, I just would really like to see it. Another update that I'd really like to see is getting the 17 bugs fixed that I've talked about before, because they're still kind of hindering me on continuing some of my save files. And like I said, one bug shot 3 of my save files in the face, and yeah, not funny, not funny. But yeah, for this house, I haven't really built a family. I was just, going off my whim, putting some stuff in there that I just liked, and just designing a house that I thought was, nice. Just nice to have, nice to maybe live in, nice to make Sims for, just a nice house. I think in the end it costs around a little less than 60k. So it's probably a very good mid-game house for like when you're in like Gen 3 or Gen 4 of your legacy, when your Sims already have a little bit of money, but they still kind of need that family-oriented home, and they just want to have a more pretty home that is functional and not a over-the-top mansion for 60k or something. I think it's just a nice, decent family home for when you just want to do your family gameplay in a pretty environment. And I usually struggle to have that when I play, so I always like it when I can find houses that I already built that have these characteristics, because when I play Legacy, I just try to, immediately pour all my money into like upgrades for stuff. And I usually always just ignore the aesthetics. And I think that's kind of bad, because Sims isn't just about the grind. It's about the life, and the life can be pretty. And I kind of feel like I have to encompass that more in my gameplay. That's why I always try to, renovate in my Legacy Let's Plays and, make it actually pretty. I think I should probably make a stream where I just make a billion pretty Sims and just save them to my library, so whenever I need just a Sim, I can just pour one of them into the world. I mean, it will probably not be that much of a problem going forward, because, we now have neighborhood story progressions, so we now can get actual Sims living in the world that aren't, randomly generated and have no ties to families that lived there previously, which I really love. The only thing is, I am a little bit afraid of how the genetics will work out, because as we've seen over like, challenges like breed out the weird and stuff like that, Sims for genetics are wild, and yeah, you kind of need some Sims in your game that can, mix together, so the next Sim still has a chin, basically. And yeah, I kind of just want to make, some Sims that I can just pour into my save file every now and then when I feel like I need a fresh new gene pool. And yeah, that's kind of something that I've been debating. I've also been debating playing a little more Temtem, and yeah, I've just become a bit addicted to the game, not gonna lie. It's just Pokemon but better. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've really come to like Temtem again. It's a lovely game. The next thing that I was, going to do more, especially like live stream wise, I wanted to play a lot more with my Sims 4 Legacy that I started on Twitch. It's such a wild one. It's such a wild ride. And just because of that, I kind of want to just play more of it. And yeah, another thing that I want to continue doing is play some more Minecraft and still, trying to beat the game on hardcore, because I actually have a plan for it. Like, whoa, I know, I have a plan, and never happens. Look at this channel. It's like I've never really made a plan for something, but I actually have a plan to survive Minecraft hardcore now, and I just want to try it, and see if my plan works out or not, and if I have to make stuff better or not. I'm excited to keep streaming a lot more. Is all I'm saying. I have just a ton of ideas. Video wise, I'm not sure at the moment what I want to keep doing. I kind of want to keep doing Sims stuff and like speed builds, and I want to, do the legacy, like continue that. But for example, I still have a lot of footage to edit from other stuff, for example, from the Kingdom SMP, and there's also like some live streams that I would like to edit down. The only thing is university is starting again, and it's probably going to be, real life university, so I have to like go there in person, which I'm not really looking forward to, and I don't know per se how much time I will have. So I don't know. I might have to cut back to once a week uploads and, stream re-uploads if worse comes to worse, because I know that I can't edit, record and stream 24/7. And that's also something that I don't want to do. I just want to have fun with it. And yeah, I think also if I don't have fun with it, people won't have fun watching it. That's something that I've noticed with other YouTubers and their content, that whenever they were starting to just pour out content for content's sake, it was really boring. I disliked watching it, and eventually I stopped watching them. So I just kind of want to, upload when I feel like it and just do the stuff I feel like, and not, make boring content for the sake of making content. I just think it's wrong, and nobody would like it. It's just, I don't know. Tell me if you disagree. I'd actually be interested in hearing that opinion, because I feel like that's just maybe just me talking about, having reflected on stuff, but maybe not everyone thinks about that as much as I do, because I am prone to overthink everything. So yeah. But yeah, the house is now moving on to the inside. I've been building mostly on the outside because I've just been interested in, building a really nice garden. Plus the house itself isn't really that big. It's just, a big garden, and I really like the garden. I think it's really nice. It does have some skill building items everywhere, and yeah, the garden's probably my favorite part of this house. For the inside, I was just really looking forward to building the kitchen, because I noticed that I think I almost never use the counters that I use that are from Jungle Adventure, and for this one I used them, and oh boy, the moment I used them I basically fell in love with them. I think I've never properly used that swatch either, so it was really nice to just figure out how I wanted the layout to be, just play with the counters, and just play with the shelving that also came with it. Something that is so underrated in The Sims are the shelves, because everyone's like, ooh, upper cabinets, they're so beautiful, but then look at the shelving. Like, can we just have more shelves? I'm just a fan of shelves, not gonna lie. Something else that I've noticed is that stuff is weirdly tagged still in The Sims, and that I would like to have a favorite function. Just let me favorite items in build mode so I can find my favorite items more easily. That would be really lovely. Like, I could Like imagine your favorite item that you always go through to find it, and then you just don't need to do that anymore because, you can just favorite it and then you know immediately where it is because it's in your favorites and they don't change. And like, oh, it would be so cool if you could like make like custom categories for items. I always say that I love to design floors, like, you know, entrance ways and stuff like that, and like hallways. I just love designing that. And there are so many items in the game that are prone for exactly that thing, but they're scattered in ridiculous categories, and I don't know why. Just let me make my own category and let me put them in there. That would be so helpful. But I'm guessing that's something that we're not gonna get out of EA anytime soon, so I'm kind of hoping a talented modder could come up with that. But again, I don't think it will happen because I kind of assume that that's just a me thing again, and that, I just probably have to do it myself if I want it done. Which again, not to I'm not opposed to just trying to learn modding myself. It's just that I uh, find it hard to find the time to learn modding properly. And yeah, I've had a hard time learning how to create custom meshes for custom content already. And I don't know, I feel like trying to learn modding will be basically even worse than when I try to do meshes. And I just kind of, I don't know if I ever have proper time to do it, but if I ever have like proper time to learn how to mod, I will probably do it just because there are some things that I really want in the game. One thing being the ability to favorite items in build mode and to create my own categories, which is probably going to be a whole lot of work. Like, a whole lot of work. Like, I don't even know how I would design the icons for it or where I would, put those categories. I mean, I think Twisted Maxi for his like world edit thing, I think he is kind of doing something where you have like a dialogue box that shows you all the items so you can place them in world. And I was kind of thinking doing something like that for basically the build mode, so you could just scroll through your favorite items. But I don't know how practical that would be or how hard that would be to mod in and to program. So I have no idea. I would just have to, learn it and try it, which again, kind of time consuming, and time is kind of something that I'm always lacking. And yeah, another thing that, like I said, I wanted to do was do a little bit more of like custom meshes and stuff. The only problem is I have to use Blender 2.7 for that. And right now I'm still working with 2.9 and I'm trying to switch to 3.0. And I'm basically trying to learn 3.0 while working in 2.9. I know it's confusing. I'm basically just saying I'm working in a completely different version of Blender right now and trying to learn 2.7. It's a completely different world, and I don't have the headspace for it because I still want to finish something in 2.9. That something being making my model better because I want my 3D model to be even better. I've learned so much more things that I can do with it, and I just want to try it. Also, back to the build. I'm a huge fan of that seasons bed, and at first I wanted to put in a bunk bed and do something with that, but then this bed just crossed my mind again and just had to put it in there. And this watch, it just spoke to me on a different level, and I just had to put it in there. I know the room looks very girly, but I don't care. I just think this bed is beautiful, and I just had to give it a room that matches it. I don't know. It just felt right to do that, and yeah, I just felt like doing that, so I did it. And yeah, the build is slowly coming to an end. I'm just adding some more skill items so your Sims can use them, and I'm adding in back the columns that kept deleting for some reason. If they do delete, just copy the column above and place it down there. That should work. Also, I toured these garden chairs just because I thought it would be nice to have something else in the backyard. Your Sims should still be able to use them even if they're toured, so don't worry about that. And yeah, with that, the build is done. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want it, it's on the gallery. It's just called A Little Family Home. Like I said, it's a little under 60k. I think it's 58 something. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the speed build. and I hope I see you in one of my streams on Twitch. I'm really looking forward to try to stream there, and like I said, kind of addicted to Temtem. Gonna stream that a lot more. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I see you in whichever video, stream, or whatever you will watch next. Bye!